Hey everyone, I am Boxcar the Fox, and welcome back to Dawn Course. And I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to get right into it. So, the swimming pool looks fairly normal, aside from maybe the lighting. 2 rows of lamps hang from the ceiling above the water, reflecting in the glossy tiles. The wall opposite of the entrance is made entirely of windows, giving a view of the surroundings. The pool is fairly small, as hotel pools usually are, but it seems long enough to build up some speed before swimming the whole length. As Rune said, Coach is already here, standing near the windows and looking at the mountains visible in the distance. He turns around and notices us approaching. Hi there, hang on a minute, because in the last episode, we're naked. Like, buck-ass nude, no pun intended. But my question is, like, is Coach, is that his title? Is he a coach? Or is his name Coach? I haven't figured that out. I mean, it's probably said it and I probably forgot, but who knows. Anyways. Hi there, Devin. Well, there it is. My dumbass. Oh, man. Hello. And, Boxcar? You didn't forget anything, did you? Oh, well. You know you're naked. Oh, right. Even if Rune is Scandinavian, Coach isn't. I've heard that nudity is a much bigger deal in the US than in Europe in general. But why? Why in Europe is that, like, do people just fucking streak down the street? Quick, someone who's from Europe, help me. Well, too late now. You see, I lost the key to my room and all my stuff is in there. Coach raises an eyebrow, visibly taken back. But I've sorted it out already. I've talked to the receptionist and they asked me to move into another room for a night. This means that I don't have access to any of my belongings I left there for now, though I couldn't go get my swimwear. I forgot that completely when I came here and started changing. It only hit me when I was about to undress. I was there with him and suggested he could go skinny dipping. I see no harm in it. The whole guest house is ours, and it's unlikely that anyone else would come in here before dinner. It's not a problem for me if it's not a problem for you. And Rune, I thought you joined me earlier. What took you so long? I got sidetracked a bit, started doing other things, and completely lost track of time. Sorry. Well, it's okay. Just don't slack off during this camp. I'll get back into the pool for a few more rounds. I'm going to. I want to do as many laps as I can before dinner. They both jump into the pool at the deeper end and immediately start swimming. It looks like Coach is slightly faster than Rune, but then again, Rune only did a few warm-up exercises in the locker room while Coach was already here for a while. Having antlers is definitely a disadvantage here too. It's funny seeing Rune fully submerged with only his antlers sticking out of the water in front of him. Despite those setbacks, they finished the first 2 lengths almost at the same time. I head towards the ladder to join them too. I lean against the wall, panting loudly. I haven't been to a swimming pool for so long that I forgot how tiring it is. Oh, he already swam. Sadly, I was no match for the other 2. For every length that I swam, they did 2 or more. And I still managed to completely tire myself out. My stamina is really garbage. Whew, that was good. I really needed a good tiring training like this. Now I can go have dinner. Or preferably 2. Hey Boxer, are you okay? You look pretty worn out. I'm fine, really. Just tired. You're panting as if you just ran a marathon. You should definitely exercise more often. Well, sorry I'm not a goddamn professional basketball player like you, Rune. Oh, I'm far from being a professional boxcar, but thank you. Just give me a moment to catch my breath. It takes me a long moment to stabilize my breathing, but I finally stop panting and take a few deep breaths. Swimming looks deceptively easy. I thought I could just swim a few laps without any breaks, but now I feel like my lungs are on fire. You must be really out of shape then. Oh, I know. How about we come here every day for the duration of the camp to exercise? You'll be swimming like a champ in no time. I will think about it. I don't know if I'm ready to go through this again anytime soon. No pressure, but I'm definitely coming for you tomorrow morning to drag you here. I groan and roll my eyes. I wouldn't mind spending some more time with him, though, and maybe it would be a good opportunity for that. And with such motivation, I might really work on my stamina. Okay, let's go back to the changing room and stop making Devin uneasy with your shameless nudity. I actually forgot that I'm butt naked right now. Great. Hey, don't feel self-conscious all of a sudden. You heard Devin, it's fine. Now come on, let's head back. Dinner should be served soon. We walk back to the showers together. Oh, there's Coach. Coach joins us as we leave the swimming pool. We three enter the showers and I start washing all the chlorine-heavy water from our bodies. The water in the showers is no warmer than it was before, but now it feels refreshing after all the swimming. I stand under the stream of water and my fatigue flows down with it, disappearing down the drain. We enter the changing room all soaking wet, but invigorated. Rune and Coach open their lockers and take out their towels, and that's when I, again, realize that I forgot something fairly important. Yes? Devin looked at me with concern. No wonder I must be looking pretty lost right now. You know, I couldn't get my swimming shorts from my room, right? Well, I couldn't get my towel either. I have a spare one with me in my bag. That is, if you'd feel okay with using it. It's clean and unused, don't worry. He passes me the towel. Thank you, Coach. I feel a warm, glowy feeling inside my chest. If this happened back in high school, instead of getting some actual help from anyone, I would be made fun of for weeks. Here, though, with others that care about me, I'm really happy. I dry myself with the towel I borrowed from Coach and put my clothes back on. By the time I'm done, Rune and Devin are still changing in their clothes, so I say bye to them and leave the locker room. The cafeteria is still half empty when the three of us enter. Maybe we're too early? I take out my phone and check the time. It's just a few minutes before 1600, so the rest should soon arrive. Afternoon lights fill the room with golden glow, giving it a more relaxed atmosphere, much different than the energetic mood that seemed to permeate through the room during lunch. The voices in the cafeteria seem to be quieter too. Maybe it's the peacefulness of this place slowly influencing everyone here. Lake is already sitting at our table, gathered with Jordan. Boxcar, hey there. Where were you? I was looking for you, but I couldn't find you anywhere. Hey there, Lake. I was just at the swimming pool. What did you want? Really? Must have missed out ourselves then. I wanted to go to the sauna, but you weren't around. I ended up going with Torulf. He should be here any moment, by the way. My thoughts should go back to our last meeting, and I can feel my cheeks getting hotter. He disappeared so suddenly that I couldn't even ask him for his room number. And I wouldn't mind hanging out with him some more. I wonder where he is actually. I don't think I've seen him around during lunch. But then I wasn't really looking for him. He probably was just sitting at another table. The three of us sit down at the table, and sound of chairs scratching against wooden floors reverberating through the wood. I look in the direction of the table beside ours where Miko sat during lunch. He is sitting there again, leaning on his paw and looking somewhere outside the window with a gloomy look over his snout. And there's Travis sitting there, too, talking with Jordan. I had no idea these two knew each other. I thought that Travis would want to sit next to Jordan. I wonder what they're going to serve for dinner. That lunch was so good. I'd expect something like that in some trendy lunch bar downtown, not here. Their table is just next to ours, and we're at the very end of the room, so it shouldn't bother anyone. Yes, even though the dishes were simple, the quality of everything was surprisingly high. The variety was also nice. I expected just one dish or even simple sandwiches. Most of the staff left already, so this time we're likely to get reheated food. Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Would you mind if we joined our table with that one? My friends are sitting there too. We're at the end of the cafeteria, so that wouldn't make a difference to anyone. I point in the direction of the other table, looking around at everyone at ours. I see no problem with that. However, you should go and ask the other table if they don't mind either. Sure thing. So nobody here has anything against it? Don't worry, go ahead and ask them. Okay, that's great. I was sure there would be more persuading involved. I stand up from the table and walk to the other one where Miko is sitting, and I tap him gently on the shoulder. He turned around, clearly surprised to see me. His ears perk up and a cheerful smile spreads across his snout. Boxcar, what are you doing here? Would you mind if we joined the tables? This way we could all sit together? I wouldn't mind it at all. Quite the contrary, I would really like it. Is that okay, Bjorn? I don't want to speak for everyone here. Oh, why would I? That would be cool, actually. I nod. Wow, this was very easy. I return to my table and wave at Coach, trying to get his attention. They see no problem with it either, so we can go ahead. Devin simply nods in response and stands up. Okay, everyone, help me move the table. Sure thing, Coach. We all stand up, lift the table, and join it with the other one. Hello there, I hope you don't mind us joining. Of course not, the more the merrier. We were just talking about the facilities here. Were any of you in the swimming pool or sauna here yet? Yeah, we visited the pool with Devin. It's fine, not very big, but enough to get some speed. Oh, and there's quite a view from here. By the way, I believe that I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Bjorn, studying neurology. Oh, good idea. How about we all introduce ourselves? I don't know most of you yet. I'm Rune, currently in the 4th year of my studies in neurobiology. Apart from that, I also play basketball and have a few other hobbies I try to cultivate whenever I have time. I'm Travis, studying neurobiology too, but I'm in my 1st year. I moved to Norway from the US, but I'm half American, half Japanese. I like anime and JRPG games, Korean cuisine, and some good tea from time to time. Nothing better than a good cup of green tea. True Japanese sencha is my reason to live. I'm more a fan of matcha. I always start my day with one, but I wouldn't say no to sencha. I don't even know what those are, probably a form of tea. I'm Miko, and I study marine biology with a specialization in crustaceans. I'm a freshman and I moved here from Finland, just like Boxcar here. I make music in my free time and I like anime too. Oh yes, I believe we mostly know each other already. I'm Boxcar, and as Miko just said, I moved here from Finland. I study cognitive science, and in my free time I dabble in photography, both digital and analog. So, I'm Lake, and like Miko and Boxcar, I moved here from Finland. I'm a freshman too, I only study astrophysics. I'm happy to meet you all. I'm Jorgen, I'm Jorgen in the 2nd year of astrophysics studies. I like literature, and I don't like noise. You seem like a pleasure to be around. Everyone is looking at Coach expectantly. Only after a moment he understands that we're waiting for him to introduce himself too. That's what he gets for sitting with students, I guess. So, I'm Devin. I believe you all know me. I'm a coach at our university, and technically I'm here to supervise you. I moved here from the US less than a year ago, so I'm still just accumulating here. He is suddenly interrupted by a lady from the reception who came with our dinner. She greets us and starts putting plates of food down on the table. First there's some soup, pea-colored and creamy, smelling of marjoram and thyme. Then a few dishes filled with various stuff, mashed potatoes with dill, whole-baked carrots and veggie balls, and a jug of sauce. And finally, she puts down 2 platters full of pannekaker, thin Norwegian pancakes topped with some dark blue jam and various fruits. That actually sounds really fucking good. Ooh, are those blueberries? I love blueberries. Just don't eat all of them. There's 8 of us here, Rune. Shush. You know I'm not like that. I think it's... Oh, good God. Artsopa? Swedish pea soup? Interesting. We rarely have soups this thick. And veggie balls. Looks like we have a Swedish dinner today. Just as if we were eating in a Yukai restaurant. I've never been to one. Are they good? The food here is mostly delicious for sure. Well, they're not as good as this place, but for the price, the value is really good. Oh, I used to go there a lot back when I was in high school. I'd grab my books and go there to study, taking advantage of the unlimited coffee refill they have there. You were going to Yukai to study? Those are words I never expected to hear from anybody. You're really lucky you have them here. We had maybe one in the whole state. Oh, by the way, Boxer, any luck with the key? I gulp loudly, swallowing a huge chunk of carrot and start coughing. I didn't tell most of them about the key yet, so I didn't really intend to. I don't really like to talk about my failures and misfortunes. Oh, no luck yet, unfortunately. Maybe the janitor will find it eventually, and I'll keep my eyes open too. Huh? What about your key, Boxcar? Did you lose it somewhere? Yeah, after lunch it disappeared somewhere. Why, did you by any chance find a key laying somewhere? Nope, unfortunately. Did they give you a spare one? No, they asked me to move into another room for today. It's not that bad then. Good they had some spare rooms. No, they didn't have any. They asked me to move into someone else's room. Oh. And where are you staying? I don't know yet. Everyone goes silent for a moment. Hey, don't worry about it. I know I have some options, I just didn't decide yet. The mood quickly brightens and the lighthearted conversations continue as everyone goes back to eating. Lake acts shy at first, overwhelmed by the amount of new people, but warms up to them quickly and amuses everyone with stories from the dormitory, like the one about his roommate boiling sausages in an electric kettle. Bjorn manages to snatch some extra pancakes that Jorgen and Devon didn't want, while Rune ends up eating most of the blueberries despite his earlier words. Miko stays silent for the most of the dinner, but I make some effort to include him in the conversation too. Travis tells us a bit about Japan. Jorgen talks about a gallery in the nearest city that's apparently a must-see, and Devon tells us a bit about how life in the United States looks. It's really great to be here with everyone. There is one person missing, though. I look around searching for Torulf. I finally see him at a table near the entrance. He's sitting with a few others, but it looks like he's keeping to himself, eating pancakes in silence. For a moment, I consider waving to him, but he's not looking in my direction anyway. I wonder how he's doing. Shit. I don't know, I'm kind of liking the Rune guy, so I think I'm going to roll with Rune. Rune and Coach. That wasn't me imitating, by the way. That was a legit yawn. Just good timed. Oh, that was good. Wow. Swimming really made me hungry. I probably could have eaten anything that would have loved it. It was good, though. I can confirm that. I don't feel like doing anything now. I caught the big lazy. Rune leans back on the couch with his arm behind his head, crossing his legs. Devon is sitting next to him, looking out the window with his arms crossed on his chest. After dinner, we split from the rest and came to the commons room just to chill together. Lake went with Jorgen to the lobby to play some table pawball, and Miko disappeared somewhere with Bjorn just after we finished. I decided to tag along with those two instead. After all, I wanted to make some new friends here, and surprisingly, I feel relaxed with Rune and Coach. Even though initially they both seemed unapproachable, now that I got to know them, I feel comfortable in their company. There's something calming about them. How did you like the dinner, Boxcar? Oh, hell yeah. Good as hell. They did a good job with it. I really liked it, just like lunch. Yeah, they really know what they're doing. Vegetables were perfectly roasted, spicy, and still with a hint of sweetness. The sauce was just a great match for the rest of the dish, too. Its slight acidity is a nice contrast to the savory veggie balls. Oh, and those pancakes. Sorry about the blueberries, by the way. I hope you both had some, too. Not really. Rune looks at me with a hope in his eyes. Maybe a few. Coach snorted loudly. By the way, I'm surprised you decided to tag along with us. What do you mean? Most wouldn't want to hang out with the teacher. Thanks for sticking around. Coach gives him a disapproving look. No wonder, that was pretty blunt. To be honest, I didn't give much of a thought before. If Coach feels comfortable with us, then why should I feel weird about it? How did you two become friends? When I moved to Norway, I didn't know anyone here, not even one person. With just one bag of personal belongings, I rented a small flat in the city center and started to look for a job in education. I thought that moving here from outside Europe would be harder. They allowed you to stay here just like that? I had it easy with the relocation since my mother was Norwegian. Here, citizenship is determined by the nationality of the parents, so I was born with a dual citizenship. Ah, that's cool. I do have family here, but on one of the islands pretty far north. I was lucky enough to find the open position for a coach at the university, but beyond some casual chat with other teachers there, I found it really hard to get to know anyone. I quickly found out that Norwegians are really nice. They tend to keep to themselves much more than Americans do. Rune was the first person I talked with beyond exchanging pleasantries. He heard that I've just recently moved to Norway, so came to me after the first class I had with his group and asked me if I was liking it here. When he learned that I barely talked with anyone, he offered to take me on a tour of the city, and I agreed. That was really nice of him. I probably should have had the guts to do something like that myself. It turned out that he's a cool guy, knowledgeable too, so we started to hang out more often. Good to hear you found someone to help you acclimate here, Coach. I know it helps a lot. Meeting new people as a student is relatively easy. We're basically forced to spend a huge part of our time together and have to form bonds to get through our studies. And yet, I still had problems with that after moving here from Finland, which isn't even that different from Norway. I can imagine that for a foreigner from the US it must be much harder. No need to be so formal, you can call me Devin. Okay, thank you, Devin. How did it go for you? You moved from another country too. Did you have any friends here already? No, I wanted to get out of my hometown, out of my country, and start anew. In the end, it turned out that Miko went to the same university, and he's my middle school friend. We haven't talked much since then, though. After moving here, I was mostly busy studying. I've made some friends along the way, though. Lake, for example. We lived in the same dormitory. I met him in the kitchen once, and it turned out that we had a lot in common. In any case, I'm doing good, don't worry. That's good. You know, I really admire you both. You take a lot of courage to leave everything behind and move abroad completely alone. If you never need someone to show you the city, Boxcar, you know where to look for me. By the way, Boxcar, do you have a Disharmony account? Oh yeah, sure. We exchange our usernames and Rune sends me a message saying, "Hi," smiley face. Not what I expected from him. But, do I really know him at all yet? His avatar is just his face cropped onto a cover art of an album I've heard of, but haven't listened to yet. I can't remember its name, but it's easily recognizable, a leafy pattern forming an optical illusion. It feels really nice to see his face in my contacts. So is that like eHarmony? We spend some more time talking, joking, and laughing, until finally both Devin and Rune get up and leave to their respective rooms. It's getting late and the sun is already approaching the horizon, filling the room with a golden glow. I wish they hadn't left already. I really enjoyed their company too. I sit a while longer in the chair, facing the window, lost in thoughts. Yeah, we haven't really talked. We're gonna roll with Rune. We're gonna keep going. Oh, Boxcar. Did I space out again? I turn around and see Rune approaching me. What are you up to? Just walking around, looking to see if anything's going on. Same as me then. I stayed for a bit in my room, but got bored quickly. I didn't come to a camp to sit in my room by myself. That I can do anytime. even if the rooms here are really nice. Yeah, although I wish I could enjoy mine. Oh, yeah, you don't really have yours for now. You can visit me sometime, if you want. I'd much rather sit with you than alone. Ah, that's really nice of you, Rune. Well, if there's nothing better to do, we could go there now if you want. Beats standing here anyway, doesn't it? I didn't have any other plans, so lead the way. Rune turns around and starts walking towards the residential part of the guest house. I follow him quietly, looking at his short but fluffy tail swaying beside him in the rhythm of his steps. It's almost hypnotizing. Yeah, sure, his tail. Here we are. I take out my phone and save the room number to a quick note. Alright, come on in. Rune opens the door, which he apparently left unlocked, and lets me into the room. It's roughly the same size as mine, maybe a tad bigger. A guitar is lying on the bed. I assume that's Rune's private one. Some books are lying on his desk too. I never would have guessed that he's the type to bring books to camp. Other than that, all of Rune's private belongings must already be hidden in the wardrobe and drawers. What were you reading? Oh, you mean those? Both are written by Haruki Murakami. He's a Japanese fiction writer. I really love his style. It's very elegant and deliberate. I don't know how he does this, but in his novels, words flow like a calm, winding stream. There's something compelling about them. They have such an otherworldly atmosphere. Before reading his books, I never thought about becoming a writer. They inspire me a lot. I wonder if I could apply that style to some other medium, let's say a role-playing game or a visual novel. Wait, you write? Oh, no, not yet. But I would love to try someday. Just, you know how it is. It's always hard to find the time for another hobby. For me, it's hard to find time for even just one hobby, but I won't say that aloud. When I moved to Norway and suddenly found myself in a big city, I promised myself to go out and take some photos every day, but I quickly had to go back on that promise. Too many responsibilities and late classes. If I manage to go out for a photo walk once every 3 days, I'm happy. I would never guess you're the type of person who plays visual novels either. Rune turns his head sideways. For a moment I thought I saw him blush. But Rune? Blushing? Come on. Sometimes. I haven't played many, though. I just think the medium itself is interesting. For example, like the idea of providing your own soundtrack to the scenes. That's not really something you can do with books. Visual novels, when done right, can be much more immersive, too. I've tried some, but none really stuck with me. They were mostly horrors, though, and that's not my favorite genre for sure. And you play guitar, too? I had no idea. Well, there's not much to speak of, sadly. I can play a bunch of chords and know a few songs, that's pretty much it. I nod. I don't know if he's just being humble, though. Prior to now, I thought he just plays on a team and practices in his free time, and that's pretty much it. Now it turns out he reads Japanese novels, thinks of writing himself, and plays music. I know so little about him. Bakar, you won't laugh at me, right? He speaks quieter and softer than before. It's weird seeing him so meek all of a sudden. That's a huge contrast to his usual confident self. What? Of course not, why would I? Thank you. You see, it's a bit embarrassing. Oh wait, why are you still standing? Sit wherever you like. Thanks. I sit down on Rune's bed, as that's the closest piece of furniture. Rune in turn leans on the desk. From this perspective, he's even more imposing. So frankly, my ambition is not to play, but to compose. I have a few songs written, but I'm not really happy with any of them yet. I don't know much about writing music, but somehow this seems even more ambitious than just playing songs. Is he really a deer, or a goddamn cyborg? Aren't these a bit too many hobbies? I mean, how do you even find the time for all of that? You have your team on top of your studies, you work on your own music, and you still think of working on a visual novel? Isn't that a bit crazy? It gets a bit overwhelming sometimes, yes, but there's a key to finding the time. It's discipline. I plan my time ahead and keep a schedule, and I don't allow myself to slack off. That's impressive and all, but I hope you don't push yourself too hard. I don't want to see you collapse from exhaustion. Don't worry, I'm a sturdy deer. This isn't that much, really, and I enjoy what I'm doing. If I wasn't, I probably wouldn't find the motivation. I'm not entirely convinced, but there isn't much more I can do for him now, is here. Okay, let's say I believe you. Could you play one of your songs for me? If you really want to hear one, but I can assure you that they're nothing special. Maybe even a bit embarrassing. Everybody has to start somewhere. I don't expect you to play me a multi-part masterpiece here. Okay. I'm not used to playing for others though, so I'll for sure mess something up. Ooh. He picks up the guitar and hops on the desk, resting it on his leg, and strums the strings gently with his thumb, playing a mellow chord. I currently have it tuned to an alternate tuning I came up with. I have only one song written in that tuning, but I like the sound, so I'll probably work on more. But you probably don't know what the alternating tunes are, yeah? Hell, you probably don't even know what the standard tuning is. Not really. Okay, it's not really important. Guitar has a pretty weird tuning because the strings are tuned 5 semitones apart, except for the 5th string that's 4 semitones higher than the 4th one. A semitone is the distance and pitch between 2 adjacent keys on a piano. I think that's the easiest way to put it. That tuning is called standard tuning, and it's what pretty much every guitarist uses. Alternating tuning is anything other than that, and they're usually constructed in such a way that all open strings together form a specific chord. You can get some more interesting, unusual sounds from that, and they're often easier to play in chord once you get a good grasp on them. I always liked it when others gush about their interests. It's really sweet in a way. I can feel their excitement about stuff and I have no knowledge of. It always makes me want to explore the topic deeper and get into it. I guess that passion can be contagious. I tried writing some songs in them with varying degrees of success. I've got all chords laid out for that one, but I'm still working on the melodies. Rune strums the strings again, this time pressing some of the strings to the fretboard with his left paw. The chords sounded sweeter and more joyful than the previous one. I move close to him, sitting on the edge of the bed, and observe him play. He plays rather quietly and timidly at first, but after the first few chords, I can hear that he regains his usual confidence. Suddenly, I hear a loud twang and something sharp hits my face. Uh-oh, the string broke. Ow! I press my paw against my cheek, feeling a stinging sensation there. Fine. Boxcar, you alright? Rune drops the guitar in a panic, leaning in and looking at me with worry. Looking at the instrument, I can see that one of the strings snapped and is now dangling limply. Yep. I think so. It just stings a little. Wait, show me. He grabs my paw and gently pulls it away from my face, looking for a wound. He presses his thumb to my cheek and brushes through the fur gently, observing me closely. Damn, you've got a pretty awful cut. Boxcar, I'm so sorry. Wait here a moment, I'll be right back. Rune gives me a quick head pat and runs out of the room. I wonder how often this happens. I had no idea playing guitar can be this dangerous. It frightens me a bit, but now that I know what happened, it doesn't even hurt much. For a moment, I think about picking up the guitar and taking a better look at it, but I stop myself when I realize that another string might snap too. I wonder, where did Rune go? He looked pretty worried. I hope he didn't panic because of a small scratch. I stand up and look in a mirror that's at the entrance of the room and look at my reflection. There's a small stream of blood trickling down my cheek. Oh. I sit back on the bed heavily and raise my paw to the cut, feeling the wetness under my paw pads. The sight of blood always makes me a bit queasy. Okay, I'm back. Rune hurries in the room holding something in his paw. He sits down on the floor in front of me and opens the small bottle he is holding. It's hydrogen peroxide. The cut doesn't look that bad, but there was some blood and strings aren't exactly the cleanest thing ever. Aren't you overreacting a bit? Definitely not. You don't want to get an infection. Now lean back and don't move. Not wanting to argue, I do as he says, raising my head and looking at the ceiling. He brushes the fur on my cheek with his thumb again to have a better access to the wound. His touch is gentle, making me shiver lightly. He cleans the wound with hydrogen peroxide and a tissue skillfully. Being an athlete, he probably has his share of cuts and bruises himself, so that comes as no surprise. It stings a bit, and I hiss when the hydrogen peroxide comes in contact with the wound, but I keep still. From up close, his scent is much stronger. He smells really nice. The cologne he is wearing mixes with his natural scent, woody and inviting with a hint of jasmine and some blueberries. If someone this morning would tell me that I'd end up in his room talking with him casually, I'd laugh at him. And yet here I am, talking about our hobbies, listening to him play songs, and now with him kneeling in front of me. Okay, all done. You should wash it up with soap later, too. You're really lucky that string missed your eye. You can't imagine how terribly sorry I am, Boxcar. It's okay, it's not your fault. By the way, how often does this happen? I never thought that playing guitar might be such a dangerous activity. Almost never, unless the guitarist attempts to do something wild soloing, then the highest string can sometimes break. It's my fault for playing in a weird tuning. I must have turned the string too high and couldn't withstand the tension. I think I'll go back to playing in standard tuning for a while now. You have no idea how much this frightened me. At least I've heard you play. The song sounded quite nice. Ha, you're only saying that to make me feel better. But thank you anyway. Too bad you won't be able to play again now on this trip. Oh, I have a spare set of strings, don't worry. I always have one with me in the guitar bag. Strings wear out very quickly, so I change them out every month or so, whenever they get dull or rusty. Where did you get hydrogen peroxide from? I borrowed it from Devin. I will drop by his room later and return it. I told him I just needed it for a moment. Tell Rune to do it now. Oh, return the bottle now. I nod, standing up from the bed. You can go there now. Better not keep him waiting. I'll go check out if anything is happening anywhere else, and we can catch each other later. Good idea. Again, sorry that ended up like this. Don't sweat it, it's fine. We leave the room together, and this time Rune doesn't lock the door either. Well, I guess there would be no point in that. There are only other students and faculty members here. I wish I thought about that before locking my door. After this, I'll go to the common space and check if there's anything happening there. If you'd like to join me there, feel free to. I don't know what I'll do yet, so if we don't meet there, have fun. I will for sure. There's one huge secret to enjoying life that you should remember wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Try to remember always just to have a good time. It sounds simple, but once you remember that, life gets easier. Take care. Yeah, you too, Rune. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and quit this. Go ahead and save that. How do I get the hell out of here? There we go. And I'm gonna stop this here. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm still really enjoying this game. I'm really curious to see how this plays out. I like the art and the music in this. It's actually really relaxing to play. And I mean, I don't really have much else to say. So with all that being said and done, stay foxy and take care.